What's up guys, Mad Fragger. I'm back again with another video. Today I just want to go over a few fragrances with you that I regret picking up. There aren't many. I have over 100 fragrances I've been collecting for a couple years now, but there are a few that I do regret buying, and I just want to kind of let you guys know. Of course, these are subjective. Like something that I don't like, somebody else may like a lot. So, you know, I understand that, but this is just in my opinion, ones that I bought that I really wish that I hadn't. Starting out with kind of like an honorable mention, I guess you could say, because I no longer have the bottle in my collection, but that is going to be Versace The Dreamer. It just came off as a dirty ashtray to me for some reason, like a wet ashtray. Didn't really care for it. It never really struck me right. I know there's a lot of people out there who disagree. A lot of people like that fragrance, but personally, I just did not care for it. And then moving into the fragrances here, that most of these I bought, pretty recently, within the last year. First one is going to be Rave Now from Lattafa. Now, this is a good fragrance. Don't get me wrong. It's a pretty solid fragrance, but it's very, very linear. Really, all you got here is just a pineapple bomb, and it's really just some, sweet, juicy pineapple, and that's about all that's going on here to me. Good fragrance for layering, yeah. If you're somebody who likes to layer fragrances, you want to add a little pineapple zip to, one of your other fragrances, this would be fine. But as a standalone fragrance, kind of regret picking this one up. I never reach for it. I don't really use it. Once in a while, I'll layer this with something else, like maybe one of my when I wear CDNIM, sometimes I like to throw this on and add a little pineapple kick to it. But yeah, this is just one that I really could have done without, and it's just straight juicy pineapple, and that's about it. So Rave Now, that's one that I, if I knew what I know now, I wouldn't have picked that one up really. The next one I got, this is actually two fragrances, and I have mentioned on the channel before that these are not my favorites from the house of Lattafa. I got 21 Lattafa fragrances, and usually Lattafa is, is really banging them out, great bangers. Like they put out some great stuff. But these two, yeah, I didn't care for these. You got Anna Abiad Rouge, which is inspired by Baccarat Rouge 540. And then you got Anna Abiad Leather, which is inspired by Irish Leather from Memo Paris. And this one is a citrusy leather that I just never really got on board with the scent profile with this. Doesn't have great performance. It smells a little cheap, kind of a little too synthetic. Not a great offering from Lattafa. Same thing with this one. Yeah, it does give you that Baccarat Rouge 540 DNA, gives you that feel, but there's a lot of clones that do that. And I have cheaper, like rack store BR 540 clones that I bought that perform better and smell better than this one. It's not the best in my opinion as far as a Baccarat Rouge 540 clone, although let me just say that the fragrances that I'm mentioning here, I'm not saying they're bad fragrances. I'm not saying they're bad necessarily, not all of them at least. But this would be great for a beginner, somebody just starting a collection and wants to put that BR540 DNA in their collection. But for somebody who's an established collector, it's just one that I don't think you're going to really reach for. It's not one that I would highly recommend picking up. Unless you just want a quick grab and go BR540 DNA kind of deal that you can just throw on for like running errands or whatever. But yeah, both of these fragrances I think are on the low end of the totem pole as far as releases from Lattafa go. So yeah, both of those now those are only like $17, so it's not like you're out a bunch. They're really cheap, really budget fragrances, but still, if I could go back and do it again, I wouldn't have picked those up because, as far as from the house of Lattafa, as far as the house of Lattafa goes, these are kind of bottom of the heap. The next one is going to be one that I was actually very disappointed in, that I didn't like this, and this is a recent pickup. One not too long ago that I picked this fragrance up, and that's going to be Shura by Versace. love Risasi. They put out just great fragrances, great clone fragrances. This one I don't think is a clone of anything. If it is, I'm not aware of it. This one is very unique, and when I say very unique, I mean too unique for me. It's got a tomato leaf note in it that is really dominant, and it kind of gives you the impression of like it between the tomato leaf and then there's kind of an earthiness here. It gives you kind of the impression of like a garden, and I don't know. I've given it a shot, given it a chance, wore it a couple times. Just can't really get on board with this one. It's not a bad fragrance. Some people may get this one and really love it. I know that there's people out there that really like this fragrance. For me personally, this just didn't vibe with me. It had decent performance, above average performance and everything. Just the scent profile didn't vibe with me, didn't agree with me. Not my jam. So yeah, this is one that I definitely regret purchasing. Although, again, I'll say this was only like a $20 fragrance. This is a budget, cheapy fragrance. So it's not like you're out a lot of money here, but it's just one that didn't agree with me, and I wouldn't buy it again, or I wouldn't buy it if I had if I'd have smelled it first. I never would have picked this one up. The next one is going to be Amir Al Oud from Lattafa, another Lattafa here, but this one, unlike the Ani Abieds, which I felt were very subpar, this one not so much subpar, but it wasn't as smoky as I would expect from a By the Fireplace clone. This is a clone of By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela. And really just overall, the fragrance lacks punch. It lacks personality. It lacks, it's like it's not quite there. Like what they were going for didn't quite reach it. Again, this is like the third time I've mentioned this. This fragrance is a $20 fragrance. It's not real expensive. So, and again, if you're a beginner and you want to, something, ambery, smoky, vanilla, kind of like a fragrance in a beginner collection, this would be fine. This would be really good. It is above average as far as performance goes, but this one just didn't wow me, didn't excite me that much. Again, not a bad fragrance, just not something I'm going to end up reaching for, and not, to the level that I was expecting. I seen this fragrance pop up so many times, and I finally ended up like, you know what, forget it, screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the cart and grab it, see what it's about. And, in hindsight, I could have done without it. Amir Al Oud, not one of the greatest ones by Lattafa, not the worst, but not something that, I think is really hitting the mark, and just didn't do it for me. That is Amir Al Oud. The next one I want to talk about is Ferragamo Bright Leather. Now, this one here, I really seen this so many times. I've seen reviews about this. I've heard even like a good friend of mine told me how much they like this fragrance, and I seen a lot about it, and I said, well, I gotta, I happened to catch this at my local rack store with a red sticker on it. I think I got this for like $20 or something, maybe less, I don't remember. But this one just, it doesn't really hit for me. It's rather light, rather weak, doesn't have great performance, doesn't come across really like I expected that it would. Actually, one thing I do like about this fragrance is I like Fahrenheit by Dior, and this reminds me of kind of like a watered down version of Fahrenheit. Like there's kind of a little bit of that Fahrenheit DNA in here, like Fahrenheit Light, I like to call it. But yeah, this isn't one that I'm glad that I just picked up this little I think it's like a, I don't know, 50 mil maybe, or a 30. But I'm glad that I just picked up the little bottle, just grabbed this at my local rack store to, give it a shot, because I'd heard some good things about it. But for me, in my opinion, not worth having, not going to reach for it, not something that I'm really going to wear. So yeah, that one I'll probably end up trading or something, getting rid of, whatever. But the last one that I want to talk about is one that I absolutely do not like. This one, and as I mentioned in the beginning, Versace the Dreamer, are a couple of the only fragrances I've ever smelled that I really just don't like. And that's going to be Lattafa Zanzibar. I know I'm not alone in this. This fragrance came out, had a lot of hype behind it when it first released. A lot of people were kind of like, I think, expecting it to be more like a Le Beau, Le Parfum kind of deal. I think that's the one that I'm thinking of, Le Beau, Le Parfum. Tropical, kind of a deal. But this is way too lactonic, way too like milky. And it just, the notes seem like they're all over the place. It doesn't really know what it wants to do. It doesn't ever really get to, where I think it was trying to be. And, performance on it, I guess, average, above average a little bit. Not real great performance, but not bad. But the thing is, what does it matter how long the fragrance performs if you don't like the smell, if you don't enjoy the smell, you're not going to want it to perform that good. But yeah, this one, I was highly disappointed in this one. I'm just realizing right now that 1, 2, 3, 4 Lattafas in this list, and I love the House of Lattafa. I got 21 of them, soon to be 20 after this one makes an exit, which it will. But yeah, I mean, I only give $25 for this. I think it was, I think when it first launched, when it first dropped, as is per the usual with these kind of things, it was a little more expensive. And I kind of feel bad for those people that bought it when it first launched and, spent more than I did on it and then found out that it's pretty shitty. This one is a pretty crappy fragrance, all in all, I think. Doesn't really do what you expect, or never really does what I think it's trying to. It just falls short, and it just smells unappealing to me. Really, really an unappealing type of fragrance to me. I'm sure there's a few people out there that like it, but I think there's more people out there that don't enjoy this one than those folks that do. So yeah, this one pretty crappy. Wish I hadn't grabbed this now, but again, it's a perfect example of how you can, watch some reviews and kind of, buy into the hype on certain things. And then when you actually pick it up for yourself, then find out that, it's not your vibe. You don't like it as much as you thought you would. And you're not really agreeing with what the people that were telling you that it's a good fragrance. You're not really agreeing with that once you get your nose on it. So, yeah, Lattafa Zanzibar. This one I got on Marketplace right now. I'm trying to sell this for $20. If I don't sell it, I might just end up throwing it on a trade deal somewhere. I don't know. But I really hate to even trade this to somebody because, I mean, unless it's somebody who smells it first and is like, oh, yeah, I like that. Fine, great, more power to you, bro. But I hate to even trade this to somebody who hasn't smelled it yet, because I don't want to be that guy where they're sitting there like, man, this guy sold me this crap and they knew that it smelled like shit. So, and yeah, I just can't. I can't with this one. I can't with this one. That's Lattafa Zanzibar. I highly recommend you not pick this one up unless you already have tried it and you know that it's something that you like, if you're one of those few people who do like it. But yeah, feel sorry for the people who bought it when it was a little more pricey and then found out, that that's what it smells like. It smells like breast milk with some flowers in it to me, really. And yeah, that's just the bottom line. These are all the fragrances that, again, these aren't all bad fragrances. Especially a lot of these would be great for a beginner. But for me, I'm not reaching for these. I kind of, on a lot of these, I just would have rather not pick them up at all. And, I don't, with exception of the Zanzibar, they're probably all going to stay in the collection, but they're just not going to get picked up. They're not going to get worn. You know what I mean? I don't know what their fate is going to end up being, but it's not going to be sprayed on me. So thanks for joining me for another video, guys. I'm the Mad Fragger. Subscribe if you haven't. I would appreciate that. And I'll see you next time.